Well, greetings one and all, and welcome back to another video here with your host Andrew. Today you join me after quite a long hiatus of about a month. I just needed my Saturdays back for a little while, and I still do need them, to be quite brutally honest. However, I am now on summer break, or summer holidays as they say in the UK, so I should have a little bit more time to myself and be able to do a few more videos, but whether I do them weekly or not, haven't quite decided yet. Anyway, we've got some exciting things to have a look at today. We've got a couple of inks from Taiwan, from Ink Institute. We've got a red and yellow one, which celebrates some of the, I'm guessing, the underground trains from Taiwan. So yeah, they're mixable as well. Maybe more about that in later videos. And then what you're really here to see is the pen which is inside this box, which you may have seen a short of, but we're going to be having a closer in-depth look at this. I've also got a review of this coming out on inkstable.com. So as soon as that review is published, I will put that into the description down below. So you've got a written transcript of this video as well. Okay, so without further ado, what we're going to do is we're going to head over to the table and have a look at this pen. So please join me over at the table.
It was around this time last year that the Dutch Pen Show was occurring, and by chance, watching an Instagram live, Tamanuri Studio said, "I've found your next pen." Of course I thought he was joking, and I didn't really pay too much attention to this. However, time passed, and just like a rash, this pen itched at my mind. It was completely unique in terms of its maquillé work, and the dragon themes was something I hadn't really generally considered. Oh, and at the time the price was a little bit out of my realms of consideration. But we won't discuss that here. Months passed, and it's still sitting pretty at Sakura Fountain Pen Gallery. I think this was a sign to purchase. Not that I am a pen orphanage, but I'm certainly not opposed to the idea of looking after lost pens or those which haven't been purchased. Anyway, I deliberate. The pen was added to my basket after much consideration, and I pressed buy. The next day the pen arrived, and it was love at first ink. Now, I've done a lot of unboxing of Nakaya pens in the past, and this is no different. The pen is presented in a beautiful Palomino box and comes with the usual affair of cartridges, converter, pen sleeve, and a Sakura Fountain Pen Gallery polishing cloth. You will also receive an envelope with a letter inside welcoming you to your new pen, and this letter goes on to offer you to have the opportunity of having your nib ground to your own choice. And this service takes usually about 5 to 6 weeks, depending on where you live in the Western Hemisphere. I think what I really love about these boxes is the fact that you've got this beautiful kanji stamping on the front, and as a Westerner, I'm a real sucker for decorative writing and flair. It's just absolutely superb. As usual, this is a fantastic presentation, and for those that have yet to experience opening up a Nakaya, you're really in for a treat. This is my second cigar-shaped Nakaya, and although I aesthetically find the Piccolo a bit more pleasing, this certainly fits my mid-sized hands better. Grip-wise, this is comfortable and one that I think many would enjoy. The step up to the barrel doesn't really impede on comfort, and the flare at the bottom next to the nib really helps to prevent your fingers from slipping. Of course, there is no clip for this pen, and for some people this may be a point of concern. However, I've found that slipping this into a pen sleeve really helps with portability and protection. Plus, if we did decide to put on a clip, it would hide the dragon's face or another aspect of the pen, thus making it a little ugly. In regards to filling the pen, it is fitted with a cartridge converter. That does make it really easy to clean and a dowel to fill. So now let's have a look at the design of the pen. Right, so when a pen costs this much money, you're really buying it for the design, and there's a fair bit to chat about here. So we will start from the prominent aspect of the dragon and then work our way down. Dragons in the Far East are seen as protectors and signify strength. Whether this dragon can protect me has yet to be seen. Still, one thing you'll note is, if you're an avid Nakaya fan, there is a distinct similarity between this pen and others in their range, such as the Bokashi. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this. Is it lazy design, or does it encourage one to collect other dragon pens as if they were Pokemon? To which I say, I'm not quite sure. Why? Well, it would be expensive. Anyway, this dragon is finished in a very unique colour of silver, as it's known in Japanese, Gin, on an Tamanuri background, which is essentially red. As one runs their fingers over the barrel, you can really feel a nice light relief to the pen, that being the Togedashi Urushi technique. This gives the pen a nice 3D relief and adds a unique dimension. For those wanting to learn a little bit more about Urushi techniques, please do check out my Inkstable article, and I'll leave that down in a link in the description. What I especially love about this dragon is the head, and it's just absolutely beautifully finished. It does somewhat blend into the Bokashi finish, but because it's raised, it does subtly stand out. This makes me feel that the dragon is flying through the clouds. Moving down the pen a little bit, we can see further raised elements in the scales and feet. This is contrasted beautifully with the Tamanuri base, which presents quite a striking contrast. The keen-eyed readers out there and watchers will spot that this Tamanuri effect does look a little bit darker than bog standard Nakaya's. This is because the silver powders, gin, darkens that of the base. And then we've got a lovely Gin Bokashi, which is silver gradient, which is then used on the polar ends of the pen and has a beautiful reflective quality, thanks to the high polishing on this pen. On a side note, I've quite often got lost in just staring into this pen and then just noticing my reflection. The polish can be seen all over the pen and looks far better in person than it does in photos. I feel this is what Nakaya does best of all. Offering what, Andrew? Unique maquillé pieces that don't really seem to be replicated elsewhere. Despite its classical symbolism and execution, there does seem to be a bit of fresh contemporary feeling to this pen. All thanks to the non-traditional silver powders and red background. Right, so let's just see how this pen will write and draw. So join me in the next section. Okay, so I wanted something a little bit different this time. So I asked Catherine if she would kindly supply me with a medium gold nib, which she happily obliged to. And this is a very contrasting feeling from that of the soft fine and soft medium nibs, which I have been more accustomed to in the past. This nib really is more akin to that of a Western feel, in that it is smooth to write with and only provides just a fraction of feedback, which actually is quite a surprise, because Nakaya and the likes of Sailor are certainly known for having more feedback on their fine nibs. However, it does seem that when you move up to medium or broad nibs, that feedback seems to just dissipate into the background. I've not had this pen for a lot of time, so doing any length of drawing with this, I haven't really been able to put it to the test. However, as you can see, I am doing some doodles with this pen and it is quite fun. And coupled with the fact that you can actually do some fantastic reverse writing, I really highly recommend this nib as an artist's nib. Okay, now let's have a talk about the customer service. Well, this section is going to be very short, mainly because I am a repeat customer of Sakura Fountain Pen Gallery. However, I can't really speak highly enough about the incredible service which Catherine at Sakura Fountain Pen Gallery offers. The pen came next day from DHL and was beautifully gift wrapped, so yeah, no problems whatsoever. Okay, now let's give some final thoughts. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for bearing with me. So what are my final thoughts on this pen? Well, this is a thing of beauty. Now, is this pen for everybody? Of course not. There will be those that dislike maquillé and those that just can't afford it. However, the quality of the maki is good, but there is a distinction between Namiki and Nakaya. So, whether this is something that you would enjoy comes down to whether you enjoy traditional techniques or something a little bit more contemporary. But one thing is for sure, it is all hand painted, which could be something that you would appreciate. Now, one last thing I found is that this pen does fly a little bit more under the radar than those of my Namiki, and that is in part due to the fact that we've got just a duotone finish with the silver and red. Therefore, it is a little less noticeable in comparison to the golds, the reds, and the opulence Raden techniques which can be found on my Kusudama herb decoration. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's pen perspective, and I will be doing a few more videos in the forthcoming weeks. If there's something which you would like to see on the channel, please do let me know in the comment section down below. Till then, stay safe and goodbye for now.